Yeah, so we are live now.
Let's wait. Let some people come join there.
Yeah, let people join in. So how is the climate there, Arun? Arun sir,
Uh,
I'm asking.
it's not too bad. It's summer starting, so it's
Okay,
the very beginning of summer. So um, it's getting warmer. It's
okay.
getting close to 8-9 degrees, which is good.
Just imagine. That is our winter here.
Yeah, no, that's why this is the
No,
beginning of
not
summer.
even
I,
that.
I will I will pass some heat there so that it will be balanced somehow my place.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, we are used
Right,
to.
right.
Okay, Soma, you
Soumya,
have
where are
been
you?
there abroad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
same thing I was asking. You are there for long, I suppose. I have earlier I used to see you all the posts from abroad. Where were you?
I'm based in Muscat actually, in Oman.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So still you are
Okay.
there?
yeah, I'm there only.
Okay, today we are getting you from there only.
Yeah,
Right, that's nice. Your photograph shows us all those places. It's beautiful, beautiful. All most of the photographs, whatever photographs we have seen, that is most from the desert
yeah,
with
mostly.
good night shots and
Coincidentally, that's my
textures,
workplace also
landscapes.
somehow. So
Ah, that's great. That's great. You are damn lucky one. Great, great. In
Great.
Muscat,
Yeah, the desert photos are awesome.
yeah, beautiful.
Very nice.
okay.
And Dipanjan, what about you?
I'm studying still. I'm studying civil service now, preparing for civil service, and photography is my
Wow,
passion.
Oh, great.
It is going on.
great.
Okay. Wow. That is something, some serious studies, huh?
Yes, but unfortunately, 2020 was gone marvelously bad because
Yeah,
civil
Yeah,
service
it is
was
for all of us.
not at the high fledge. The preparation was not at the high fledge, and the examination was not happened. And in this year also, 30th May was the date of
Scheduled date. Yeah.
schedule,
mm,
but the situation is
Right.
going worst.
Yeah,
And
this is very hard luck for
yes,
everyone because of COVID.
hmm.
And in
And
civil, I guess there is this limitation now, no? There is a age limitation or number of times you
Yes,
can sit.
yes, yes, yes. It is a age limitation for general caste. I think it is 32, and it
Uh-huh.
differs for other castes. It differs.
Hmm. Right. So you are missing on those that also.
Yeah. The only positive thing is I am only 23 now, and I have
Oh, then
graduated,
you have answer.
and I am graduated just last 2019
Number of
from
you are
Bandar
very
University. Yes, yes, yes. It is a age limitation for general caste. I think I am only 23 now, and I have
oh,
uh,
then you have
I'm
answer. Someone is
I'm
watching
graduated
on
just last
Facebook and
20
that number of
from
you are
Bandar
very.
University. Yes, yes, yes. It is a age limitation for general caste. I think I am only 23 now, and I have
Oh, then you have
I'm
is
answer.
going
Someone is
I'm
watching
graduated
on
just last
Facebook and
20
that number of
from
you are
Bandar
very.
University. Yes, yes, yes. It is a age
What is
limitation for
happening?
general caste. I think I am only
use your
23 now,
Facebook.
it is echoing. I think
I don't know whether it is
Someone's
working
my
now.
Facebook is open.
Hmm. Um,
Yeah, it is
It
fine
is
now.
not.
is it fine?
Yeah, it is fine now.
Okay.
Because that person was
You are
watching
you
in.
are you are 23 only, and I am left with 23. Maybe less than that.
I will appreciate that you are so focused that in 23 you are sitting for such important exams. That is very nice.
And
We have
it's such
few
good.
viewers now, so
Okay.
I think Arun, we can
Okay,
start.
that's great.
okay.
Okay. Good. Good evening, everyone. everyone from the family of Ava and from outside also, whoever watching this webinar today. This is a very unique webinar we're conducting today. Because today's webinar is with all the winners of our just concluded photography contest. That is my top 5, my best 5. Means everybody was instructed to show their top 5 pictures as a part of the contest, and the winners were the first question winners were Arun Mohanraj, the second question secured by Soma and Ghosh, and the third question was Dipanjan Chakravarti. So, hi Arun, Soma, and Dipanjan. Thank you for coming here, being a part of this webinar. You all three are here from all the different part of the world. We can say not even India. Arun is from Manchester now. Soma is from Muscat, and Dipanjan is from
Kolkata.
Yes. And myself, I am here from Pune, and Sanita is also from Kolkata. So it's a nice combination. Thanks a lot to the technology. So we all are here in the single frame. So here we are going to start our webinar. Let's go and have a glance over the winning photographs. The photographs of which with these all three marvelous photographers are here with us. So let's start with our PPT. So Sanita, please can you start it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone can see, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it is visible, huh?
Yeah.
So here the winner is with the winners of the photography contest, my top 5, Arun Mohanraj, Soma Ghosh, and Dipanjan Chakravarti. So let's start with the work of Arun Mohanraj. Okay, so there is a very distinct reason for which he has won the first prize, just because of not only for his brilliant work, but also for the diversity of his work. You see this first photograph. This is from a wildlife. The second photograph we'll find this is from sporting event with a difference. Disabled Olympic, I suppose this one. Third one you will find this is a micro shot. And fourth one, this is a very different landscape. Really, I was just stunned with this photograph. The beautiful in the simplicity. And the fifth one was a creative work with such a beautiful artwork. And the processing of black and white is amazing. So these are all the things from Arun Mohanraj. Let's go to the work of Soumya. Soumya Ghosh. His work we found his work in and around the desert. And in desert, what I like in his work, frankly I'm telling, he has experienced the desert in such a way that he can experiment it like his own left palm or his own belonging. Like sometimes you'll find the landscape in desert, sometimes you'll find the body structure, figure study in sand, sometimes you'll find very minute macro work, sometimes you'll find the event photography over there. So it is beautiful piece of body of work by Soumya. So, Soumya, can you tell us about this event? Actually, this is a very interesting event. Just let me know.
Yeah, Arun, I guess, Arun, I was thinking that each photograph, the photographers can narrate their experience and story behind each photograph. Let's start from the beginning and let Arun.
Okay. Let's we are going to the Arun's photographs and let him.
Yeah, each photograph, whatever he wants to say, because we can learn a lot from each photograph.
Okay, this is the first photograph from Arun Mohanraj. Arun, please let's know something of this photograph. It's a migration. That's a great migration, I suppose.
Thanks. Yeah, it is. I have to say this is a photography by luck, actually. It is a wildebeest migration in Masai Mara, Kenya. So we started a bit late because I'm trying to take some vulture photography in the morning. And then when we were going towards the lake, towards the Maasai River, it was completely packed with photographers and tourists for the Great Migration. And we didn't want to go into the space where the wildebeest are coming closer because they'll get scared and probably they'll jump into the river. So we were actually waiting outside just for some of the crowd to clear. So I had my camera at a very high speed. I think it's about 1/2000th of a second, and I was trying to take some pictures of vulture flying. And then suddenly the wildebeest were chased by a lioness and they started running towards me. And this is a red alluvial soil. It's quite dry red alluvial soil. So as soon as they started jumping out, I jumped out of my vehicle and then I was on the ground and started taking some shots. My range, I didn't know I was actually out of the vehicle because there was a lioness nearby. So I got told off big time afterwards that I'm not supposed to leave the vehicle. But it was quite fortunate. As I say, I had the setting at very high speed and they were running quite high speed. The lioness could not be seen because it was quite behind the red alluvial dust. It was the lioness. So it's more of a shot by chance. And probably that's about it, I could say. As I say, I quite like the ambience, and that's why it used to be, or it is one of my favorite images I took from Kenya.
Yeah, Arun, generally we perceive that this type of shot, when you go there in Masai Mara and summer, for this conducted tour, so we generally perceive that these are very safe. There is nothing to worry, no danger at all. You just sit on the vehicle and take the shot. Is there? Is it that dangerous? That it means it's not it's not that in comfort zone.
No, I don't think it's that dangerous. But Kenya, as a rule, there are certain countries like South Africa. I've been there thrice before. South Africa, in private game reserves, you can come out of your vehicle, you can go on a walk. The rangers know which place is safe and which is not. So South Africa, you can do a lot of walking photography. In Kenya, any of the public game reserves, you're not allowed to come out of the vehicle. In fact, the rangers get punished or penalized quite significantly if the police or the people who basically the security find the rangers with their guides out of the vehicle. You're supposed to strictly stay inside your vehicle, which I didn't know that it's completely strict.
Okay.
I wouldn't have got this shot.
You were not instructed beforehand.
He kind of instructed, but I didn't know it was that strict. And also, as I said, there's no way I would have got this ground level shot from the top of the vehicle. I wanted a different vantage point. I had to lie on my stomach to get the shot. So from the vehicle, it would have been quite difficult to get the eye to level shot. But it's well worth being told off for this shot, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing.
Tell us about this shot.
This is one of my personal projects I'm doing. I'm quite interested in para-athletic events now. Because I want to create an inspirational book on para-athletic photography. So I interviewed some of the para-athletic people from India as well. And I've been following up para-athletics a bit closely. I went to Germany. This is from Berlin, this shot of the para-athletic events for 5 days, which happened in Berlin. I've also been to Paris for the World Para-Athletic events as well. And also I've been to England as well. I've done a few para-athletic events. So this is one of the track is a bit curved. So when you stand from here at the end of the curve, you can actually see the runners coming straight to your face. So I decided that was a good advantage for me to stand there and start taking the shots from there. So this is one of the shots from the World Para-Athletics Grand Prix in Berlin.
So this project you are doing, I'm seeing this project for quite a long time. So some 2-3 years back, for the first time I seen this picture. So let me know, this project, it is being sponsored or you are doing it of your own? Of
my own. That's why I've joined. I applied for as a photojournalist, as a sports journalist. Initially, when I applied, I got rejected because I didn't have. You're supposed to have a lot of publications in magazines and things to get accepted. The IAPP is in the States, so they rejected mine, saying that either I don't have a degree in photography, neither, and I don't have enough publications to get accepted. So after a year, I had a few publications. Then I tried again for the second time. Unfortunately, I think I got through. So I got the membership as for the International Association of Press Photographers, as IAPP. And then I applied for Sport Journalists Association in England. And they accepted me as well. So I get accreditation, and then I travel on my own. I don't get paid for it, and I don't submit it to anywhere else at the moment. This is more of my personal passion project.
So now you're eligible to take part in this international photojournalism contest also.
Yes, yeah, I can. Well, I've done a bit of other sports as well, like gymnastics and things. But this is something close to my heart. So, so I'm planning to take some more in future, hopefully.
Yeah, this is the macro shot.
Yeah,
what is this?
This is a Regal jumping spider.
Yeah.
I've set up a macro cage. I actually have it on the side, but there's a lot of mess around on this side, so I'll try not to show that side. But this is a stacked shot of 176 images, and
oh my God!
And then they are all joined together in Zerin Stacker. And this is kind of a pandemic project because I'm completely stuck inside. So to de-stress, I started doing some insect photography from home. So this is one of the projects. Now I'm doing some more. Because again I'm stuck inside and unable to do any sports photography. I'm doing more of.
So you can go for this thing.
Macro. Yeah, I'm building my own macro cage now, with the help of.
For focus taking, this many number of focus taking. So how long? What is the time period we have taken for this picture?
This would be about 7 hours in total. I think setting up takes the longest time. Is probably about 2 hours to set up the lighting, set the background, and then get in the right position. And then, so I would say probably I would have spent about 2 hours. Somebody with experience it might be a lot easier for them. I'm learning quite a lot. This took me about 2 hours to set up to start with, and then I made a few mistakes. And you only need one picture of the 176 to be wrong, so you need to start all over again from the beginning.
Oh my God!
Otherwise, your starting is completely wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's yeah.
Because the position should not be changed.
Yeah, even if it moves 1 millimeter away, the whole stack is completely wrong. So
it's gone.
Thanks.
This one, want to know something about this picture?
When I started, I was trialing quite a lot in landscape photography. Then I realized I'm not that good in landscape photography. So I don't do that much of landscape photography at the moment. This is, I went with some of my friends to Liverpool. And this is a place called New Brighton Lighthouse. So they have a lot of windmills into the sea. And towards the evening,
into the sea. It's into the sea.
Yeah, this is what you're seeing in the foreground is actually the sea. It's not the sand; it's actually the sea. In long exposure photography.
Yeah.
So the sea comes in. There's low tides and high tides. So the sea comes into the land about 3 times a day, and then it goes back in. So there's windmills, and I thought it would make a good foreground subject to do a long exposure photography. I think this was about 1 minute and 30 seconds long exposure with an ND filter, 10-stop ND filter.
10-stop ND, right.
With the wide-angle lens I took in. I think this was about at least 4.5 years ago from Liverpool. One of my experimental landscape photography.
Yeah, generally we are accustomed to see this type of landscape like not in this panoramic view. Your way of showing it is really made the thing entirely different. And moreover, the center composition and 1:1 ratio, that also it made the picture very different. So that catches our attention most. Generally, it is a out of the box shot of photography from
and also so natural color retention is fantastic.
Color, yes.
Not
that is it.
And it's really amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't think
not overdone anything.
No, it's a color because it's a very long exposure and it's almost golden hour for the evening. So the long exposure does most of the work. And as I said, it's just one of my lucky shots from my landscape trials.
Great one. Absolutely beautiful. And this one. Let us know about the how you have done it part by part. There is a toy which is being overlooked from the entire picture, but that is at the corner. And apart from those, the two giraffes, the lady, the stairs, and everything. Let us know about this picture.
So this is a conceptual photography. I take a lot of shots of literally everything. So that's why even if I go for a wildlife, I don't see a lot of wildlife. I'm not upset. I'm happy with. I'll take pictures of the land. I'll take some pictures of some weird things or branches or skull or dried objects. It's just because I do a bit of conceptual photography as well. So for me, I'll have no idea what I'm going to do with them, but I have a big file of a lot of these images. I have it in a separate external hard drive. And then suddenly I'll have an epiphany and I'll think, oh, maybe I can combine this and this and this together. So this is a shot from the land, and the giraffe is from Lake Nakuru in Kenya when I went for the second time. The land was quite dry at the time, just because it was one of the driest seasons in Lake Nakuru. So there was no flamingos to come in. I mainly went to see the flamingos migration in Lake Nakuru. But unfortunately that year, we hardly had any because of the bad season they had. So many tourists left the place, Lake Nakuru. But it was the Lake Nakuru was managed by a Gujarati gentleman who was extremely friendly. So when he came to know I'm a photographer, he offered me saying like, "Oh, I'll take you to this place. I'll show you this place and whatnot." So we went and in rounds, and we managed to see an adult and a juvenile giraffe play fighting. So the adult is a male adult, and it's teaching the juvenile how to fight, because giraffes always, when they fight for the female, they aim for the belly. So they use the head and they swing it, and then they hit the belly. So sometimes the fighting can go very fierce, and some giraffes can die out of rupture of the liver or the spleen and whatnot as well. So it's quite a intense fight. But this is just a play fight, the adult teaching the juvenile how to do that fight. And I got some interesting pictures as well. This happened for almost 2 hours. So I've taken nearly about nearly 1,000 shots of this. And then when I came home after 3 months or so, suddenly I had an idea, because the adult giraffe looked almost like kissing, like coming down from the side. So the ladder, then I thought I'll get a model and do the shot. The ladder is actually a toy ladder I bought from eBay. This is only about 4 centimeters. So this is a toy ladder from a miniature dollhouse. So the ladder is not the size of the ladder. I use my aluminum staircase ladder for the shoot, which I do for my DIY work at home. And then initially I thought I'll copy paste the skin of the giraffe to the models. The model is she's called Cherina. I've used her for quite a few of my photography for my portraits. So initially I thought I'll just copy paste that dress. Then I did a lot of search on eBay. I managed to find a giraffe print dress, actually, a skirt, which I was quite pleased after a bit of a search. So I bought this from eBay. This is about 10 pounds or 12 pounds, quite cheap. Then I used the model to do the shot. The toy is from my niece. I borrowed the toy. Initially, the picture was my niece from India, as though she's kissing. But then I changed it to model because I think this suited a bit more, added a bit more drama to it. So as an adult, we still have the childish, or we still have a bit of a child at heart. So I wanted to create that kind of an image. So I added all of this together. And then the sky is from Manchester on one of the clear days. The clouds are all just clone stamps and brushes from Brush Easy. So they're not real clouds. So all together, I made a few changes. Initially, I tried it in color. Color was a bit. I'm not very good with color montage in conceptual.
It is perfectly fine with black and white.
So so it worked in black and white.
Yeah, that's great, awesome. Great experience for all of us. Okay, so let's go with Soumya. Soumya, your picture, this one.
This photograph, I actually felt as if it's a body of a female. The curves are so nice. It's beautifully composed and beautifully seen, actually, or imagined, I would say. Very nice. Yeah, Soumya, you carry
Okay,
on.
so must say something about that.
Okay. Like even though I was not in so-called landscape photography at all, initially I started with majorly people and people photography mostly and travel. But when I been in Oman for last let's say 7 8 years, it's surrounded with beautiful nature actually. Like and you have ocean, you have desert and everything. So. Uh, by default my nature of job enforce me to visit those places, even though it's all a restricted zone, you cannot go to those areas. So I was just trying to explore that what different kind of desert kind of uh, whatever thought was in my mind to use my fine art photography to use it. So one of this, after 2 3 years of effort, I was trying to get that exactly how which curve can be much better. But again, it all depends
Right.
on like weather conditions, the wind movement, and everything. So it took a lot of time. Yeah. So this is one of
Even
it.
even the time of the day, the shadows, the lights,
Yeah.
that also take a major part in this picture.
And also it was another challenge. People have in general notion that only you have to take photo on early morning and evening.
Early morning and late evening, yeah.
But this was is purely at 12 o'clock, because morning and evening you are not allowed to go those places, because mostly
Okay,
oil field you cannot travel those areas. So it was
okay,
absolutely on
okay.
daylight. Uh, Most of the shades, what you can see, it's basically those curves and the kind of. It was in the winter, so naturally
Mm-hmm.
that little bit of shade I got from other side. So that
We
helped,
have some soft light
and it's
also.
not cropped also. Huh? It's exactly the same what I took.
Oh, great, great.
Yeah.
What I liked in this picture is that the different three different type of layers. So you have used three layers in this picture, and those are absolutely different. Absolutely, all are absolutely beautiful. And the second thing is in the figure study in the non-figure item, means
Yeah.
static item.
Yeah.
It's another beautiful thing. These two things really I observed here. So let's go to the next picture. Here, these are. I was eager about this event.
Uh,
Okay, so much.
it's mostly now for going away. Like most of the traditional sports, even in most of the Arab countries, because of lot of current humanity things and all these things. So hardly you will see this kind of sports event now. It's a kind of rural sports event, I can say. It's a
Mhm.
horse race, typically in the village areas. So one fine evening, I thought of let's go and explore something little different. So I was there, and it was little risky also to take this shot, because I was very close actually in front of when the race was happening. So a lot of people are shouting from the back, "Don't move, don't go there," kind of. So in between, I clicked few of the shots. So I was lucky to get that sunlight was coming through those sands. So
Mm.
I'm kind of
That
accents
worked.
able to capture. Yeah.
That worked the best actually.
Yeah.
The light in the sand and it's just coming out like some explosion. It's beautiful. Yeah, this one actually out of the your entire lot, I love this picture the most because this is more towards abstract. You
Yeah.
don't do more much abstract I have seen, but this one of very different part of your body of work. Let's know about this one.
Yeah, it's again. I have few of kind of abstract shots, but normally I don't share those. This is
Okay,
again
that's why we don't know.
this is again
Yeah.
one of the evening. I just went for kind of casual photography, just to take some photograph on the kind of, it's a called the Cornish area, and again it was a time of sunset time, and few of those seagulls actually was moving from one side to other. So I was thinking what to take. It's all common frames. I used to come frequently there. So I was standing there and thinking, let's try something different. So and use just a kind of slow shutter
What
experiment.
would be the shutter speed? Like 1/10th or something like that?
Yeah, it was 1/14th actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is tough just taking the picture in such dreamy look with more prominence and controlling the exposure. This is a real tough thing. And
Yeah,
that's why
and
I love this picture.
background was absolutely, kind of blue, because of the, water of the sea, and the
Okay,
light was coming to those birds. So I used that light actually.
great,
So
great,
that's why
great. So
how.
you have taken in a backlight.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
a backlit shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one. Again, your desert part.
Yeah, this was again, it is in the morning. I was just, we took a break on the travel. Usually you have to travel a lot. It's roughly
Mhm.
around 400, 500 kilometers of
Wow.
travel alternate days. So took a break there. And this was one of the drivers who was just casually walking. So when I
Okay.
saw that he was walking and I was just behind taking some casual shots, I thought of, okay, let's try this, because that other
Mhm.
side of sand dunes, those shades were there, and the
Mhm.
cloud formation that day was out of the world. Like hardly we get cloud in there. Very difficult.
Yeah, it was like.
Yeah,
So what sort of lens you have used for this one? It's supposed to be a very wide angle lens.
yeah. It was actually it's 10-24. Uh, yeah,
Maybe towards the 10 or 11
it was on
sort of
12 actually.
12. Yeah. So again, this one, let us know about the time of this shot because more looks towards the end of the day, but I suppose it may be different. Let's know.
It was not exactly end of the day, but kind of. It was around 3:30, but it was very
Okay, so
cloudy.
mid. Okay.
Yeah, very
Okay.
cloudy, and I don't know the gentleman who he was, and it's not a tourist place at all. Uh,
Okay.
it's surrounded with little bit of like a tent kind of areas, like local people they used to have those camel and goats. So one of the
Mhm.
guy, he was just walking there, and I saw his footstep and that cloud formation, and I liked that light
Right.
was, not little offbeat kind of, not exactly very
Yeah,
high.
exactly, exactly. It is very different
So
and very prominent also. This light is somewhat the play of shadow, light and shadow. That is
see, that's
amazing,
why, as I
absolutely
told you,
beautiful.
it was not afternoon, so
Hmm.
it was quite strong light coming through those cloud basically.
Yeah,
You were
great.
very lucky to get someone there
You're
in
very
the
lucky
middle
to
of the
be
desert.
there. You're very lucky to be a person to be there in Muscat.
Right.
So let's welcome Dipanjan on stage. Dipanjan, let's know something about your
Yeah,
photographs.
yeah.
So this picture, the very first time when I saw this picture, I just got stumped. It is such a beautiful picture with such diversifying lines, and with every line there are some geometrical things, and there are some live element, and along with those, the lady, the figure, and that driving towards the entire picture. Okay, let's know something about this picture from your mouth.
This picture, actually, I took this picture just before the day of Amphan, and I can
Okay,
remember, and you all know that how Amphan was devastating. And
Yeah.
exactly.
the day before Amphan, the cloud was, I mean, so heavy. In
Hmm.
the in it is oftenly seen that the cloud was so heavy, just the day before Amphan, and this lady, just before my house, was busy collecting that his clothes, her clothes, because but uh, I seen that she was in trouble. She was in horrible trouble because the wind was so heavy, and she cannot collect her clothes. And I saw the triangles of that. What should say
The lines, the
the
words.
The
lines, the
clothesline.
triangles. Yes, the cloth lines,
Yeah.
and there are various triangles. Yeah, if you can see the three or four
Yeah.
triangles there are,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. If
And
there's some not
That
only
did the
triangle,
magic
there is
actually.
geometrical figure.
yeah,
And let me know one thing: have you cropped this picture, or it is as it is?
no, it is as it is, because but I have to set myself at the floor when I took this picture. I have to set
Yeah,
myself
that
on the
is.
floor.
That is
Yeah,
understandable.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
those birds have complemented so nicely.
yeah. The birds
Yeah,
was
it actually.
too much birds. There was too much birds, and this was I felt quite uh, happy that the bird was I took this bird in the diagonal, in the triangle. It is
Yeah,
the more important.
exactly. So
And the
you,
lady, the emotion of the lady, and she was in trouble. I got that the emotion of was the lady. She was in horrible trouble, and she cannot collect her clothes actually. Yeah, I think there is some problem. I can't hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think some sound issues.
it's gone
I
muted.
had muted myself because a
Oh,
call came actually. So Arun called me and said that he got disconnected. He'll just join back.
sure.
Okay.
Okay, fine,
So
fine.
yeah, we'll just wait for 2 minutes. So yeah, so, you that photograph, Deepanjan, it's like as if everything happened for you because those
Yeah, yeah,
birds coming in the right places,
yeah.
and that is why I always say, like in photography and in any form, any genre of photography, luck is a huge factor.
Huge factor, huge factor.
Only the
And
photographers know.
in my experience, and I have oftenly seen that I have waited too much time for a street photography, and I didn't take any single picture in one day or in one week. But
Hmm.
in particular for this picture, I, as far as I remember, I didn't wait for how much, for 5 minutes max to max. I waited for 5 minutes, and
I
I took
know.
this one.
It is completely luck. You don't
Luck,
know.
yes,
At times we come back home with an empty hand,
yeah,
and just as you said, you got such a nice shot in just 5 minutes.
yes,
It's because it has got a lot of emotion also in the
yeah,
woman's face, that if we can understand that the some storm or the rain is coming,
yeah.
so that moment is very visible, isn't it? What will you say, Arun and Soumya?
Yeah, I'd say one of my favorite pictures. It's quite good. I like the lines. I'm not much of a street photographer. It's just because, again, as I say, I don't travel much for streets. But it's a great image. I like the
Yeah,
lines, the atmosphere.
instant, you get that instant connection with the image.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of actions on the same frame, all together.
Mm.
Very beautifully composed also.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's a very nice choice and nice decision of making it black and white. It is adding on to
Yeah.
the drama
Mm.
of.
Actually, there was no color at all, which can
Right,
attract a people. No color at all, because the clothes were not colorful, the clouds were not colorful. So
yeah,
that was no color, was not the black and white picture is, and I feel that black and white is more touchy than the color picture, which
right,
is
right.
hard.
I know, and many a times, like in emotional, like photographs like this,
Yes.
uh, because color, I feel it many a times distracts you. Like we
Yeah.
see a lot more information than required. So in that way, this helps. Okay, I'm starting with uh, the presentation. Let let me see.
Yeah, let's continue. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, yeah. So can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are done with this. Yeah, this is Maidan in Kolkata.
Yeah. This is in December month, and This picture has been published in the ICC page, the International Cricket Council, and the page has been published in the month of January, as far as I remember. And the shot was taken at the early morning, and as you can all see, the sun is rising, and it is a orange zone. What is the orange zone, and what is the quite interesting environment in this picture? The orange environment can create an artistic and another essence of this picture. And that boy was playing, and the two boys were taking selfies or another else, and I quite feel
Yeah.
interesting, and I am very much lovable with the early morning at the Maidan, which is too much misty and too much foggy. And when the sun is rising within the fog, it is mesmerizing.
Right. And this ball at the right position did
Yeah,
the magic.
yeah,
It's awesome. And this is what we see in Maidan. Very like people are playing football and cricket, and
yeah,
it's a good, very good sign for representing Kolkata, I would say.
yeah, yeah.
It's a
Because the
very
the
typical.
background of 42, and it
Yeah,
reflects a pure civilization, and the foreground, which reflects a pure what should say, it is a pure essence of uh, play, not so far civilized, but it is so much friendly, it is so much frank, the foreground,
hmm,
because they are the boys, maybe they are friends, they are taking selfies, their pictures, the boy
yeah.
is
It's a
playing.
very informal environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arun has joined back.
Yeah,
Arun, I have
shall
started
I?
with the presentation.
Okay, so okay, I need Sanita, can you come down to the that black and white picture where we are talking about?
Okay.
Or shall I share it from my window?
Yeah, yeah, you can. We have just finished
Okay.
the next photograph also.
Okay. Just one thing I wanted to say. Just the thing went off right there. Dibanjan, why I asked you that whether you have cropped this picture or not, because in this picture you just see the point of intersection, all the where the cable where they meet. It is exactly the golden spiral point, and that is the amazing part of this picture. Without knowing, you have done it, and you know that point is the most interesting point of any of your picture. All
Yeah.
scientists and the artists, the sign of scientists and artists, every elder people, they have confirmed that golden spiral point is the best point of a picture. Where the first time, whenever you see any picture, your point of view, your view just get attracted to that particular point. So it is amazing. Okay, carry on
Yeah.
with your next picture.
Yeah, just as we see the photographs of you all, I just wanted to ask you questions also. Like, why, for instance, why did you? These questions are open for all three of you. So, how did you start with photography? Was it from your begin, like as a kid, or were you an artist ever in the starting? How did you start with this line at all? It's open for all.
Who's
Start
supposed to
with
say first?
Arun. Arun.
Arun say.
Uh, I started from 2015. Is when I started taking photography. It's just because I wanted to de-stress from work. Work was getting quite stressful, and it's more of to come out of work. That's why I started with landscape, because that's the closest I can get access. Wildlife is not very prominent in England, so I started with landscape first. But anything, just to go for a walk, I like being with nature, so I do a lot of trips just to be with them. So since 2015, I think my turning point or my interesting would be when I joined the photography club. I joined Surely Photography Club, which is not far from here. So that gave me the impetus just to see. So you start to see others' work, and you start to see what is good, and you start to see different types of photography and genre as well. So for me, yeah, it's from, I would say, from for the last 6 years or so. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, when you
Uh,
work with many different type of photographs with from different places with different uh, genres, so your obviously your experience and your way of seeing the things gets changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very useful thing. When you are
Right.
doing alone, there is only one mind working and one point of view is working.
Mm.
So it
Yeah.
doesn't get any different direction. It's good. It's always good. Yeah, Soumya.
Yeah, it's not that, like a little different. I'm a very gadget freaky guy, so
Yes.
started to experiment with different gadgets. So camera also one of my gadget I started with, and I took it seriously. I think 2013 I took some shots like most of the people photography, mostly from our northeastern part of the countries, and again little casual kind of approach. I saw some of advertisement and put those photos in those pages like UNICEF and all those, and it got recognized in UNICEF. So kind of a connection started from there, and then when I moved to Oman, started little seriously, managed to get some time from work, especially weekend. So it was more started with weekend, and again uh, then looked into little seriously, let's explore whatever thinking I have. And as I said, mostly my intention of taking photos are kind of I used to do little bit of painting earlier, but not gone too far. Somehow stopped somewhere and thought of, okay, let's explore through photography, because using tools may be much more convenient rather than managing some time from kind of professions. So that's how started. And again, as I said,
Yeah.
started with UNICEF, got some recognition in international level also, mostly like our Nat Geo Abu Dhabi, some Nikon competitions and all those. So it boosted little bit of my interest,
Yeah.
and took it little seriously afterwards.
That is one thing. One thing of your these things just attracted me. That was you started doing painting and then you shifted to photography. So whatever I don't know how much you have done with this painting, but whatever you have done that has impacted on your mind totally, 100% throughout. It has impacted and everything. All those things we are seeing into your photography. The way you compose it, the way you see it, the way you see the light and shadow, you see the you study like your figure, the result. So everything comes along with it. So it is really, I understand now. We understand that how much it has impacted in
Yeah,
your
the
photography.
background from where you
Possibly.
came. Yeah, it
Yeah,
reflects.
Possibly.
it has to be. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dipanjan?
Dipanjan.
Yeah, I started it in not so far in 2017, as far as I can remember,
Oh my God.
and yeah, and I am doing some tuitions, English tuitions, and s- with the money of my tuition I earned, and with the money of my tuition I bought a camera just for fun. It is not too much serious. It was not too much serious for me. Just for fun, I bought a camera with my earned money, and therefore, and from that point of time, uh, some achievements, some recognitions came to me, and I took it seriously that it can be uh, done by me.
Yeah, that
It can be
motivates
done by
you
me.
that I'm in the
Yeah,
right path maybe. And you push
yeah,
yourself more, I guess.
So Dipanjan,
yeah.
want to ask you one thing here. You bought a camera, you purchased a camera and started doing photography and all of a sudden you have started taking good pictures. That cannot happen. Where from you got the motivation?
No, it is
Because,
motivation. It was motivation that my father we used to had a camera, that Yashica camera, which is now a vintage camera, and he used that to take my pictures when I was child, and that Yashica camera was the toy of me, and I used
Okay.
to play with that camera in all the time, in all the day, and when
do you remember the
I
do you
was
remember the name of the Yashica camera, the complete name?
no, I can remember, but I have that camera, and I have that in my cabinet.
Okay. Oh, great,
And
great, great.
at that time, and from that time, I was so mesmerizing about that camera. Then what is it, and what is the function of it? and
So
then
obviously it is now. It has not come overnight. It was there in your
Yeah.
blood. So that
yeah,
is the
yeah, yeah,
reason from 2017 to
And
21 you have achieved so
yeah,
much.
exactly. And
yeah,
with that camera, that was your learning phase, I would say. You have
yeah,
experiment. I
yeah,
can imagine you must have experiment so much that
Obviously,
yeah,
you
yes.
know the light very well, how to play with light.
yeah.
And
I
think
clicked
that those
some pictures with Yashika, but my father was not so allowed me to because it was a real camera,
Yeah, it's
and
very
today's it is a
expensive.
digital camera. Yeah, it is expensive and it is real camera. That was I am not allowed to use so much, but
Hmm.
I clicked some pictures and it was too much interesting to me.
maybe FX3,
Hmm.
Yeah.
FX7, that is something. That's good. So
Yeah,
let's
we'll
go
come
to
to the
the
next question, a next
Yeah.
photograph
yeah.
of Dipanjan.
This is the picture of drying cotton in Shantipur. In this Shantipur, there is a cotton drying field where the various colorful cottons are drying on the high sunlight in the vast field. And these, if we see the various colors in it, and they all are cottons. And after that, the cottons were are getting into our clothes, and these are the two men. The men were uh, working in the field, and this was a picture what I took in.
Yeah,
I think
Dipanjan,
it was
it looks
on the upper. Yeah, yeah,
Dipanjan, it looks like looks to me like it was a part of a bigger picture. You might have cropped the picture for the better composition. Am I right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is somehow.
Yeah. Okay. Next one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
beautiful
another
Kolkata
picture of
Yes.
morning.
Kolkata Maidan,
Medan.
and the boys were collecting and some plastics to free plastic from Kolkata Maidan. And this was a NGO
Mm.
work. The boys were from NGO, and they were the with some sticks. They were collecting the plastics to, and if we see the background is too much foggy and the horse is seen, and the horse is not so much clear, the foreground I used, and I want to this that the middle part I want to locate the man and the horse in the middle part, and the it was so much interesting to me. I told you that in the foggy morning in the winter at Kolkata, it was so much interesting to me to shoot in the
Actually,
foggy morning at Kolkata.
let me tell you something.
Yeah,
Neither I am too close to Kolkata nor I am too far. Like I am not as far as like Arun and Somu, and not as close as you and Sanita. What I perceive about this picture, this is a testimony of Kolkata's today. Because in future you never know this horse will be there, this picture, this people will be there, this tree will be there or not in Kolkata. But this foggy morning, foggy wintry morning of Kolkata with horse and people are doing these activities. Really, it is the scenario, current scenario, what we enjoy when we go there. Even this year in the winter, when I went there, I along with Sanita went there in Maidan to see these things, actually to enjoy these things through eyes only, not just because we for photography. So these are the things. This is
yeah,
a true testimony of a particular place which you have captured and you have framed it and you kept it for eternity. It will be there throughout, whether these things will remain in future or not. But this
yeah,
picture will show what it was there in Kolkata in those days.
yeah.
That's why love this picture.
It's beautiful. The ambience is so well captured.
And this is real beautiful. That's
Thanks.
why.
Yeah.
Next one.
This is a picture of
Yeah.
Real Art Festival, which has been conducted just before the second wave of pandemic in
Yeah, yeah.
as far as well the February month of February or March, and the if we see the background graffiti, it is concentrating on the first wave of pandemic, the devastating effects of the first wave of pandemic, and
Yeah.
when
The migrant workers are coming, I guess.
migrant
It's
worker,
about the.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and when I was waiting in front of the wall, this boy was going with that colorful cottons, and don't know what is the function of this cotton. Once he was going on the road, and I took some similarity with the struggle of the background wall graffiti and that boy. There, I find some similarities that the boy is struggling too much in that age, and at the background graffiti there is the clear picture of struggle. So the
Right.
struggle life of the boy and the struggle life of that graffiti I can find so similar that's why I took this picture.
And also color complemented so nicely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Complementary color with orange and blue. It's beautiful. It has come. And Dipanjan, one thing I want to say you, while selecting the portfolio during the selection of this contest, I was almost I had rejected your these things just because at the very first glance I saw this picture and thought it is an entire graffiti on the wall. So I thought generally many people do like this. They just take a picture of the graffiti and put it for a contest. And always I reject those pictures just because it is not your work, it is somebody else's work. You have just taken a shot of somebody else's work and put it in the contest. So all of a sudden I saw this boy and then found it is a live element in front of the graffiti. That make the entire difference of the picture. And I can say this picture and the first picture, these two picture is totally very different from all other pictures of your profile, means whatever you have submitted here. And the way you have submitted the first picture and the last picture being the best is always complimented from my side, I am telling you. The way I do generally when I put my picture somewhere. It's a
And
very wise
also,
thing actually.
can I add, Arun, that
Yeah, sure.
if you see that, the body language of that boy and that
Yeah,
entire graffiti, the boy is also all moving
same
towards on the same
direction.
direction.
Yeah,
So
same direction.
Yeah,
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 that is
yeah.
very nice.
It
position of
added
the
so much.
Beautiful.
frame
Yeah.
positioning, everything is fantastic.
Had the boy looking towards the front direction, that would have created this thing.
Yeah,
Means
Negative, yeah.
possibly
It will
not
go
that
unvisibility,
negative.
negative
attracted.
thing.
Yeah,
The boy is looking the back. I don't know whether Dipanjan
And
has
this,
done it
the man,
consciously or not,
No,
but
no,
you were
he
lucky
was
enough to get this pose.
the boy was seeing at some of his relative who actually told him to stop the vehicle, and he was looking at her.
Okay.
He was supposed
Okay.
to her
You're
mother.
damn lucky, and yeah, this thing, good picture always come. Most of the time, good pictures come accidental.
naturally,
Actually,
naturally.
90%
yeah,
of my good picture, best picture, came accidentally. Means it was not to happen. Just by chance it happened. I took it. So like that, it happened.
Yeah.
Really good work. Very nice.
The suitcase
yeah.
looks like it's an air conditioner that's been painted on top of it, isn't it? Or some
Yes.
kind of a box on the wall.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is painted over that. Right. You are very much right. There
No,
are
I
two
think it
sort of
is
things.
a box and they have painted it on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
It is
box.
Yeah,
actually a
it
box.
is the box of air conditioner, and the
Ah,
wall.
Yeah,
This
yes,
is the
sir.
wall of a company, and this is the box of air conditioner, and they painted it all.
Oh, great.
yeah.
That's great.
And
That's
that
great.
is like whoever the graffiti artist has used it beautifully.
Mm.
Yeah.
Awesome. And the big boy who is carrying the box, though it's not very clear, but it gives the feeling as if that boy is looking to the small blue colored boy. So,
Yeah.
so that eye connection is there. So it's a very dramatic and a very storytelling photograph. Very nice. So we
So
are
here goes.
we have
Sure.
come to the end of the presentation. So we'll start
So
with
let's already we have started our questionnaire. It's not like very normal interview. We are doing it very formally. So already we have started our question. So now let me come to a question that is I want to relate something in my life with your photography life. So at the beginning of my photography life, I used to think when I for my these things for my job I had to go many places, so many places there I had met many different type of people, so I used to take a lot of portraits. So while taking photos at the very beginning of my photographic life, that time when I used to take photos, whenever the subject is to look at me, I used to feel ki, yeah, I am losing something. When the subject is looking at me, means the candid sort of thing goes off, and now I am shooting a person who is posed sort of thing. So I used to avoid those pictures. So that is very early stage of my photographic part. Now I know that unless until the subject is looking at you, you are not getting that connection. That connection is not being built, and the photograph, whatever it is going to be reflected in the photograph, that is not going to come. So now I am an entirely different photographer what I used to be earlier. So now I want to ask all of you what you feel yourself as a photographer in comparison to earlier what you were and now what you are. So the difference, any difference you find, sort of starting with Arun.
I don't know is the answer, because I'm still experimenting. I'm learning quite a lot, and as I say, I'm learning from internet and I'm learning from others. So I'm not sure where I started and when I started, I used to post them on Facebook, and it's a lot of times it's of pets and animals and cats in my friend's place, and used to get a lot of likes, and I used to think, oh, it should be a good picture because I'm getting more likes. I think they were for the cat, not for me. So
Amazing.
that's one. Then I started entering the Choli Club when I joined. Then I saw some pictures of quality, and when they discuss about it, then you start to say, "Oh, hang on a moment, this." So I'm still experimenting quite a lot. So personally, for me, I think photography. Even when I say 20 years down the line, my answer will be, I'm still experimenting, and I like that because I'm experimenting a lot with macro. When I started, I was experimenting with landscape, and so I think I'd like to keep it that way. I want it to be an experiment throughout. I don't want to see where I'm saturated with some different type of photography. I want to constantly experiment and explore. And not being a professional, that gives me one advantage, that I'm not doing it as a profession, which means that I can kind of have a leeway to experiment.
Yeah, you have liberty of your own choice.
Yeah, same as my sports photography. I'm not selling it for Getty. I'm not giving it. So which means that I can experiment. So I've done some long exposure with running. I've done some long exposure with wheelchair photography. I've done some long. So it gives me a bit of a leeway that I can experiment. And even now I'm doing a lot of different experiments now. I'm staining some insects on a long-term staining for 6 months, and doing some called diaphanized photography. So I like experimenting. So I'm not sure.
It is nice. It is nice that whatever you wish, you can go for it, and you are going for it. It is nice.
Yeah, I'm learning. That's all I could say. Is as compared to all of you, my life, I think, will constantly be learning. I can't say that whether I've improved or not.
Yeah, actually, the day we start thinking that my learning is over, your journey is also over, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's an ongoing process. Always we are learning.
Everybody is learning. We all are learning here. Every day we are learning one or other.
Yeah. Soumya, what do you want to say?
I think, as Arun said, I think creativity remains same. That urge for doing something creative, doing something different, that's always there, and that's why maybe you are still continuing it. Only changes, I think, Arun said very nicely, like initially when you take something, you feel like very ordinary, and now you feel that it's not. That means, I think we, because of our experience and kind of practice and habit, we became little more mature to understand that we need to do little better and much better. So that, I think, changed somehow, and to getting exposure to know a lot of different quality work and all this. So that, I think, somehow to creating that niche, that urge, I think, gone little better than what maybe you are doing earlier. That changed, or else it remains same, like to do something more creative.
We have become more composed, actually, more focused and more composed. Yeah.
And I think I am starting right now, because I told you.
You're at the very initial stage.
Yeah, I'm in very initial stage and starting, and I used to see all the time, and whenever I feel comfortable, that the various pictures on the Facebook, on the Instagram, on various social platforms, and I look many pictures. I can gather knowledge from that pictures, and I'm learning too much. So Yes, in the 2017 or 2018, I used to take all the pictures in my surrounding. But now I am too much focused to what is my subject is, what the subject actually means. And this is the only thing that I can change in myself with my photography journey. And with my at the initial stage when I was used to take all the pictures of my surroundings like cat, dogs, the trees with balcony photography. But I am
Yeah.
now too much focused that I am a street. I want to do street. I love to explore with street photography, and this has. I think this is the only change, and otherwise I am
That's
studying.
how we, yeah, that's how we all learn actually. We start learning.
Yeah.
One secret I'm telling you about myself is at the beginning. Generally, I'm a travel photographer. I travel a lot of places for photography. So at the beginning, when I before traveling, I used to go to Google to see what are the picture, what are the opportunities are there, so that I can go and take this photograph. So I used to see the photographs in Google and try to take those photographs in that particular places. Now the situation is changed. Still, before going to any new places, I just go to Google and see the photograph, and now I go there and avoid those pictures to be taken because now I know those pictures are already taken, so there is nothing new to take the picture. So I have to do something new, something new. Okay,
Yeah.
so the next question, next that is just I want to ask what keeps you guys motivated because this is a journey. This is not a one day process, one day journey. It's a long journey. Say Arun is doing it since 2015. You said, no?
Yeah.
Okay, what keeps you going ahead? Because you are a doctor by profession, I suppose.
Indeed. Yeah.
So yeah, you are very busy, and even today at the today's scenario, you are much more busier than any other person, any other professional, I suppose. So still, you are doing your photography. So how you are motivating yourself? What keeps on motivating you?
It's my biggest de-stress. Is that's what I would say. Is for
Yeah.
me, if I'm really stressed, in very honest words, the first thing I go to more than my partner is my camera. It's just because
Wow.
it's. I know
She won't be
she's not
happy to
here.
know that.
She's not here, so it's all right. So, but the thing is, let's say if I had a very stressful day in intensive care, I come back home, and even if I'm really tired, I take a quick shower, and if I come down and uh, avoid any social media, cut myself completely away from internet, mobile phone, everything, and sit with my camera, do something. It could be absolutely silly, like taking a stack shot of something else. If I can do something that after an hour I'm quite calm. I find myself like it's like listening to music for me to some extent that I'm de-stressed. So for me that's one thing, and two is like you said, to create something slightly differently, to look at the same image in a different vantage point in a creative way.
Yeah, that's
uh,
correct.
and that gives
That's
me the same with sports photography. Sometimes I look at some of the shots before I go for the sports event, and then I try to make sure I don't take that routine shots. And I have the luxury
yeah.
because
Today you have shown the shot. That shot I have seen it. It was in a high shutter speed, and even I have seen the shot with slow shutter speed also.
yes, yeah. Um,
Yeah, I
so
have seen
just
it
to
in the
try
video.
different shots, and then
I
I
would
try
like to
to.
see that shot. Please post it on Abha. I have not seen the shot which Arun is saying. So we would like to see it in Abha.
Yeah, definitely. And it is, and I trying to take some slightly different projects as well. Now I'm trying to do some underwater photography. So I'm learning
Wow.
to
Awesome.
do some underwater. I've done some now. I've done two different shots of it. For that, you need
Okay.
to learn swim for 200 meters non-stop to go underwater and do some underwater. And it's a kit and everything
So
is quite exciting. I'm
great.
hiring the kit because it's expensive.
We
Uh,
would urge you, all of you three. Dipanjan is doing every now and then. Both of you, you and Soma, to show us in Ava your good shots, very good
Sure,
pictures.
sure,
What you
sure.
think
Yeah.
are
Yes,
very.
because one
And,
thing I want to
and
add that ABHA is not only for contests, and it is
mm,
actually the full form of ABHA is Academy of Visual Arts. So we conduct workshops and courses also. But the thing is, the main aspect of creating ABHA is it's a platform for all visual artists. It's not only for photographers. You can see
No,
like
that
other.
attracted actually. Because of that reason only started, as rightly said. Otherwise, nowadays, to posting in a group become, we all become lazy, or rather we feel that, no point of posting it, kind of.
Why
But
is it a
Yeah.
cliche sort of?
So sorry, Arun, I didn't get you. What did you say?
Yeah, it has become a cliche sort of thing. So every day you are going
Yeah,
and
yeah.
posting something here
Actually,
and there and there.
contest. Yeah, contest is for to motivate people, because as you can see
Attract
today,
people.
yeah,
you
it
we are
engaged the
getting.
members also. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
motivates. But through this webinar, I'm sure at least 2% will learn something, and that is our job. At least a beginner will get motivated. Okay, this failure is everyone has walked through those failures, and one
And
day I'll
one
also
more
reach there.
And one more thing you might have seen, if you have monitored Ava closely, you might have seen we are giving more importance to new photographers, more
Sure.
importance to new shot of works. If somebody is experimenting with someone, if there is some mistakes or some flaw, we just overlook it and we give preference to those people so that they can motivate themselves. So
Yeah,
everybody knows good photographers will post good photos everywhere and they will get the upper hand. But sometimes we need to look at the photographers who are coming up. So if had
he's
we not done
trying.
these things,
Yeah,
we would have not seen photographers like Dipanjan and all. These are the very needy things. This platform, when we are running this platform, we must think of them also, so that once they are getting the motivation, they are getting the support, they will try to do
Sure.
much better.
yeah,
Yeah.
and here it's not only for photographers, we are photographers, but for other artists also. We have a AVA
Yeah.
feedback section where anyone can come up with any discussion, or if maybe you have seen some good photograph of some another artist, and you can post here and we can have a talk there. So it's like a place where people from all across the globe have come together and joined with the same love. That's all. It's not only about recognition. So we both would love to see your photographs other than the contests, like whatever photograph you
Yeah, please
have,
post good pictures in normal window
and
also, and also
with
in the
some
contest.
story, maybe with some story, the way you are explaining right now. If you attach with that in the photograph, it will motivate other photographers. I'm sure
And
about it.
and being senior photographers in the industry, we would also love to have some inputs also from your side, how to enhance the thing, how we can
Yeah,
encourage younger photographers and all. Okay.
if time permits, I would request you to give comments on others photographs also.
Sure. Sure.
Sure, sure.
So
There's a quick question. Any learning from a big mistake? While doing photography, every now and then we are doing some mistake. This or the other mistake we are doing. Any mistake you remember, Arun?
Yeah, quite a few, because I'm still learning. I've done where I had some extremely good opportunity, but I had no extra memory cards with me in wildlife.
Okay.
When I was shooting, and when I was shooting something else on a fast shutter speed, and then the real chance came in where the kingfisher was diving in to catch a frog, and it came in with the frog twice the size of the kingfisher, and I ran out of memory cards. And I was trying to fiddle with my card that was in South Africa, and I lost the chance because the kingfisher flew away with the frog.
of course.
And I've done it more than once before, and I've also done a mistake of where I've taken a sports event with nearly 5,000 shots in my 128 GB card, and I was so excited. I was going through every single one of them in my car, but I was running them fast, so it burned the card and it deleted every single image. It corrupted the card.
Oh
So
my
every
God.
single image I took in
The
the
card
running,
couldn't hold your speed.
yes, I've lost it. Then I Googled quite a lot. Apparently, you can try to send it to Germany or somewhere, and they can get a firmware and try to recover it and whatnot. But it's not guaranteed, and it costs quite a lot to send it and post it. So that's a mistake. Now I never buy a 128 GB card. because I think I've heard on the forum some people did have on a very high memory cards. So I always now buy 60 or less GB
Why
cards.
am I missing the sound?
So at least you divide your shots. Like
Yeah, at least I would.
everything will not go away.
So I have done a few mistakes. So
Right.
so these days,
And
at least, I'm not
dependent on it.
repeating them. I'm
Yeah,
always
these are like very big lessons, I would say. You might
Yeah, of
have
course.
a small heart attack on the spot that day.
Nowadays I carry more memory cards than if I can possible, and a lot of them 16s and 64 GBs and whatnot. And I never go through the card, even when I'm doing sports photography. I don't recheck, apart from maybe one sample to see what's my depth of field and whatnot.
Right.
Other than
Just to
that,
test.
yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and I do carry a separate memory card reader as a handheld. So these are mistakes I've learned. But fortunately, as I say, I haven't repeated it in the last 3 years or so. So I would say
Good
that's.
job. Yeah, and Dipanjan and Soumya.
Yeah, I have done quite mistakes, and as far as I can remember, one is too much funny. That in 2018 I went out to shoot holy photography in Kolkata, Boro Bazar, which is called Sonapotti, Rolls Royce Soli, and I went out with unwrapped camera because unknowingly I was totally new at that particular thing, and I didn't know that splash of color, that splash of color powders is there is seen, and I went out with unwrapped camera, and when I when I
Reach
went
there.
and reached and I saw that
What
all
mistake
the
you have
cameras,
done?
yeah, all cameras are wrapped with many plastics and many covers, many camera covers and many various plastics, and my camera was unwrapped, and with some what I didn't take pictures, and I returned home because camera is more precious to me rather than 1 year holy photo.
Right, you can go next year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
and
was
Soumya.
2018 and 2020 was it was cancelled, and
Oh,
2021,
now
2020
to
and
everything.
21. Yeah,
Corona.
2 years it has damaged already.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is very common. I think most of us, we
Everyone has gone through these things.
even knowingly, unknowingly, we do this kind of mistake several times. Even just last week itself, I went with, like knowingly all this, went to take little bit of evening photography because, as I said, to get clouds here is very, very rare cases. So we always try to grab that opportunity. Went with the camera without battery. Even, can you imagine, after doing several mistakes, no battery at all in the bag, all battery, I think put it on a charge last night, thinking that morning there will be cloud, will go, and forgot all the batteries along with the camera, and, and came back. So,
But,
I'm very happy. I'm very happy to know that I am not the only one doing these mistakes.
no. Even you do all plan at times, such thing happens.
I remember
Right.
one other bigger mistake. Mistake in a sense, I was in a lake taking pictures of a crocodile, and we kept some meat on the side in South Africa, so that there were crocodile. But what happened was it was raining a month before. The ranger said there's only one crocodile in the lake. He's quite positive about it. So we were concentrating on just one crocodile, and there was a meat on the side. I was lying on my stomach on the lake, and we didn't notice the second crocodile coming from the side because he promised me there's only one crocodile. So it was so close to me, less than 20 yards. And it was the last minute I saw it because of it. So I had to run from me lying on my stomach. So I dropped the camera from the side, and it broke the body of my Canon 7D. 5D I had at the time. So it broke the body, but I'm very happy it didn't break the lens because the lens was hired in South Africa, and it's a 500mm lens. So if I broken the lens, I think I would have had to pay a large amount of money. That's a lesson learned. He said the rain should have washed the crocodile into the lake because he was absolutely positive there's only one. It should be the rain because in South Africa it rains so heavily, it breaks all the barriers. So he thinks it should have been, but as I said, it was a close encounter. And these days, I'm very careful where I watch as well.
Arun Shaha, you are mute. You are on mute. Yeah. Still, we can't hear you.
Still muted,
Arun,
yeah.
Or maybe you're on
we
the
can't hear.
headphone.
Your
Yeah, you're on.
earphone.
No, we can't hear you. Check your audio. Acha, how will he listen? I'm saying check your audio. Yeah, no, you can hear?
No.
He can hear
He can
us.
hear us, but now we
We
can't
can't
hear
hear
him.
you. Check your mic. Acha, you. Yeah, so yeah, that is quite interesting. And these are all practical on-field mistakes, I would say. But in photography point of view, any learning you will say
Can you
to
hear me
our
now?
web?
Can you
Yeah, yes,
Now
now
we
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
So
I
what
think
I'll say,
let me share some another thing also besides these technical mistakes or let's say these pitfalls, what we normally do. Uh, I don't know what happens when you be connected with a lot of photography associates, friends, friend circle. You tend to be influenced by a lot of different genre of photography, correct? And I feel initially after 1 or 2 years, when you feel like, oh, this is a fantastic photographer, and very, and you tend to blown away with that typical, the same type of photography. So I think in between 2015-16 I was little bit of kind of my own identity or own creativity. I was more on kind of keeping imagining that copying kind of photographs. So
Yeah,
and then I
repeating the
went out of
repeating thing.
stupidity, and then so that's also a kind of mistake. We should learn that we should
Exactly.
not. Yeah, that's my kind of sharing.
right, right.
Nice, very nice.
If you have to say something from photography, I think, like Arun said before, at some point 2 years ago, I was quite fixated on entering competitions. So I was taking pictures for competitions more than for my
Yes, that's
pleasure.
a very nice
Um,
point. That's
it
a very
becomes a bit
nice point.
addictive.
Very important point.
Yeah, because you're fixated on like, oh, this competition likes this kind of photography. Let me do that. Let me do that. Let me go out and do. I was getting more fixated on winning awards than enjoying my photography or doing it for my own liking. And I was looking to different competitions, what genre they normally like, what the judges like, and I was googling the judges to see. So I was more fixated on like, oh, I want to get more award and whatnot.
Sure.
That's one mistake. The last 2 years, I've completely stopped that. Arun might have noticed I don't enter that
I
many
have
competitions
noted.
these
I
days.
have noted.
But I'm doing a lot of projects, which I'm quite happy about. I haven't entered even 3 or 4 of my projects that haven't entered in any of the competitions at all, which I'm happy because previously I was doing photography for entering competitions at one point. Then I realized actually then you're trying to kind of degrade yourself to some extent that you're trying to sell your photography to some in a way. So these days I'm doing it for my own pleasure and the project. And if it gets appreciated, it's good. If not, it is my personal passion. So that's probably if I have learned personally, I would say that.
Yeah, right.
That's the right essence of a photographer. Being a photographer, being a true photographer, that's the right essence. What you wish you can do, you will do. It is not because somebody wants this thing and you will do at their instruction. कि हमें, we want to get this thing, you want to get this type of photographs, our judges like this type of photographs. So we are follow them to get the award, not following our own dream or own thinking. It's a very nice thing.
Yeah, and especially because we are all artists, and we are 5 people are sitting over here, but each people will have a different mindset and different thought process, and how to compose and like what I like will be different. So
But that's
someone
also learning.
my
It's huge learning
difficulty is
to
on really.
come out from that,
It is getting
kind of
echoed.
influence or kind of stigma that, and to come back to your own. Otherwise,
Yes.
it's very difficult.
Yeah, this is rather Somo. I would say this is instead of saying learning, this is I would say unlearning. If you
Yeah.
learn something which is not right, unlearning that thing is very much required. Without
And
But it
very
unlearning
was
that
required
difficult.
thing, you
also.
cannot.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was maybe
But
100% necessary to to
unlearn
get
the
that kind
wrong
of,
thing actually.
yeah.
And unlearning is much tougher than learning something new. Unlearning whatever you have
Yes,
learned, and
it
if
gets
it is
influenced so
wrong,
much.
getting it unlearned. Arun might have understand this thing, because now he has taken himself away from this competition part since last 2 years, and it has been tough for him, isn't it, Arun? So
Yeah.
that is it. You are getting yourself unlearned from that particular world and getting yourself learned to the other sector where your heart really calls you. Any
Dipanjan,
mistake, Dipanjan, from your side, which you have
What?
rectified? Any mistake you have done earlier
Yeah,
in
yeah,
your
yeah.
photography career?
In 2018, I went out to shoot for Holi picture, Holi photography, which has been conducted in Borobazar area, Kolkata, and well known as Sonapatti. And unknowingly, I went out with unwrapping camera. And when I reached at the place, I saw that lots of
this we
cameras.
have this we have heard, Dipanjan. We are asking about not about the gears, about your experience as a photographer in the photography point of view. Have
My
you
ex- my experience
learned
is
from it?
it
Yeah.
is yeah it is my experience is too short because I am now at it very
Yes,
initial stage.
you are a
And
beginner right now.
yeah
Maybe you'll
and my
answer it better next year.
yeah and my only thing that is I want to see more pictures, and I see more pictures on the social media for many contemporary photographers or many legends or many past photographers, and it is my only inspiration, and I can gather knowledge from the pictures.
Right,
Right.
right.
So, Sanitha, you want to ask anything from your side?
No, there is one thing which is very important for the beginners. This
Mhm.
question, this will be the last question, I would say. How to deal with failures? As Dipanjan was saying today, like many a times, and I guess everyone has experienced this, that many a times it happens that today the whole day I was out and I don't have any good photograph in hand, or some other failure. So because it won't, we saw 5 photographs from each one of you, but I am sure the number of good photographs in your hard disk compared to the failures, there is no ratio. Like you might have failed so much. So how to deal with that and how to keep motivating yourself? And I would say it, think as a beginner when you were a beginner, I would say, not today, because Dipanjan might be at the start of his journey, but Soumya and Arun, you are much ahead. So this is for starters, I would say. I want to motivate the beginner members.
Okay, I
Um,
think we start with then Arun. Preferably Arun can add it or complement it if anything, or add more values possibly. Uh, See, two things. I just want to share with my experiences. I think again, failure and success both are pure, absolutely, kind of perspective or subjective. It depends, and I cannot say that I am taking a, because I have some recognition, somebody doesn't have, doesn't mean that it's only success and he has a failure. He may be a fantastic on his own, or maybe with a some viewer perspective. And so it's again, it depends on how you take your photographic journey on your own and take it forward. So if you feel that the way you want to take it forward, if it's going through, then I think that's itself is a success for your own. And but if it really doesn't go that way, on that motive what you look forward for, then you can say that it's really not, going forward, and it's failing somewhere and need to revive it. Um, if we really want to judge it with some kind of parameter or benchmark, then you can say, okay, there is, some kind. But again, it depends on you as individual, as a photographer, that what kind of intention you have to do this art form, so that you want to tell that you have success or failure. That's my perspective. I may be wrong, and Arun can.
Oh, no, no, that's very nice. Yeah, Arun.
In the sense, I don't think of it as failure, because some of the images I like the most are the ones I've never posted on Facebook or never posted on entered competitions with it. Like when I went to Morocco, I was teaching in a school nursery. We stayed in the school and we took some pictures. That's my best trip almost ever, and it's all street photography when I did that. I don't enter any of them for competitions. So as I say, to some it might think like, oh, because it's not, it didn't serve a purpose, it might be a failure. But for me, this is the best trip I ever had. Because I enjoyed so much teaching. It's back to, because I teach medical students here in the university, but teaching nursery with starting from rhymes and things and with innocent kids was a completely different. I enjoyed really myself most. The same with Hungary. We're trying to do some muskoxen photography, and we stayed in a tent at minus nearly 28 degrees, and to see the muskoxen in the mountain. And we hardly saw it, and the pictures were horrible. But for me, that's my desktop screensaver, because the effort we put in, and the thing is, for me, that's my most favorite. I've never entered it or never posted it anywhere else. So for me, I don't think failure is measured by anything. As long as you're happy, you think it serves some purpose in your own list of things. And for me, when I do some photography, I don't go with the purpose like I want 3 good photos. I always go with the purpose, thinking that if I get one decent shot, I'm happy. That's it. If I don't get it, I'm still happy because I'll do something else. I'm with nature. I'm traveling, and also I'm.
That's beautiful.
I'm enjoying. That's why one of the photographers, when I went to Brazil, his wife took a picture of me taking pictures of birds or somewhere walking, and apparently she said, "You got such a big smile, and you're literally singing to yourself. We noticed that when you're not with us." And she said, she was just joking. She said, "Are you mad?" And she said, "Your Facebook pictures are so horrible because your face is not smiling at all. But when you're on your own with the birds and animals, you're smiling." So I didn't know until then, to be very honest, until she mentioned it. So that's what I personally enjoy being there. So I don't think we can measure unless, like it's your bread and butter that you need to, it's your work, then it may be different. But for me,
Right.
I don't see anything as a failure. In fact, some of the pictures that fail the most are my most favorite for me. And I still think it's not a failure. So
Yeah, beautifully said. It's like actually you have, it's more about the experience rather
Yeah.
than what you have achieved.
In a certain occasion, if you have failed to take a particular picture, okay, you have failed to take that thing, but what you have gained the experience, you have gained the lesson, you learned the lesson. Yeah, next time I will not fail. So that's the
Absolutely.
way.
Yeah, you learn something or the other from the failure or whatever.
No one better than Sanita knows this after completing this holy tour. She has missed quite a bit opportunity and she has learned quite a bit, I know. So she knows how good it can be. Learning the
Yeah,
things
yeah.
from people.
I
Oh my
missed
God,
joining it
yeah.
twice, isn't it? So,
Yeah. So
Yes,
last year you were supposed to join. This year you forget. You
for this
couldn't.
corona.
well, this year I can travel out of my own city, so let alone into India. So,
Maybe sometime next year you can join.
fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
One quick one-liner. What is your favorite genre now? We all have done a lot of genre.
I know Arun's answer. He will not give any answer. He will say,
Absolutely.
now I know Arun a little bit.
I have no genre. You're absolutely right, Sunita. It's just because anything that excites me, like it suddenly insect photography excited me. Now I'm doing something quite different. Like I'm staining some frogs and fishes, and I'm doing what is called as diaphanous. Anything that like underwater brings out a bit more of a completely different learning curve and things like that. So anything that excites me, somebody says, "Oh, this is a new type of scientific photography." Then I'll be. So I don't have all the wildlife in a way is favorite because it combines with my travel as compared to sports or anything. But I don't have a genre. I'm quite happy to experiment with anything that expresses emotions.
Right.
Yeah. So what is your favorite genre?
No, I don't want to be restricted in any zone, not at all, and I don't want to be. Even though, yes, definitely, I think all individuals we have some kind of weakness and soft corner.
Yeah.
I have a lot of kind of soft corner for black and white photography. That's my all-time, I should say, weakness in kind of genre, if you ask me.
Yeah,
And
we can
naturally,
your plus point also. Your forte can be like that. Because you're too good in black and white. Too good in black and white.
And that I love. And as I said, fine art photography, but not typically how we express fine art in terms of
In studio and
wide,
all.
widely accepted, photography fine art.
Right.
It's natural formation of fine art. I am more into that.
Natural fine art.
Yeah, that. But I love people photography, travel, not in wildlife that much, but street photography I used to do a lot earlier in when I was in Calcutta by default. But hardly I used to post anywhere. That is my maybe my own as of now. Very rare I used to put somewhere else that kind of. So I don't want to restrict any genre, and I love to be wherever I feel I want to enjoy it. I want to just enjoy it.
Dipanjan, what
Dipanjan
is
will
your
come back
opinion?
to you. There is a
Yeah.
question from one of our
No,
members.
let,
We'll come back to you,
let,
Dipanjan.
okay.
Because that
Yeah.
is photography anyone's profession or passion? The question is from Devyani Bhatia.
It is for me.
Yeah, it is
For
for
three
all
of
of
you,
you.
like, is it profession or passion? I guess it is passion for all three of you. No
Passion
one's
for all of you.
profession is,
Yes.
yeah. So,
It
yeah,
is
fine.
purely
Nobody's
passion.
profession.
For us,
Everyone's passion.
if it is asked to us, yes, kind of passion or kind of engagement besides our daily professions. But as a whole, photography can be treated both as professional passion. Depends on how as individuals are taking it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll say you have to frame the question slightly differently. I think it will make you happy either if it's your passion, or if it's your passionate profession. So even if it's your profession, if you do it if you enjoy it as a professional, then
Sure.
either way, I think you'll be happy with it.
So, Arun, you want to say that somebody has to keep both cup of tea and bread and butter on the single plate?
Yeah, I think,
Why
like I
not?
say, if
Why
you,
not deep into the tea also possible?
yeah, I used to sometimes envy professional photographers who do like wildlife photography and things like that. Attenborough is my biggest idol forever. So for them, I used to think they enjoy what they do, isn't it? At some point.
Yeah.
So rather than calling it profession, you can say it's your passionate profession. So
Right.
So
that would make you happy.
Question for Dipanjan. Dipanjan, what is your favorite genre?
I can find joy in street because Kolkata is mecca of street photography, and I'm still doing street. Don't know what will happen in future, but still now I'm doing street and I can find joy, and it is a quite pleasure to me that I can make a frame in such a common place where everyone can go and everyone can see, but we can see with the street photographers can see in a very different perspective, and we can make a frame, and we can make a frame which people cannot relate with any artistic sense, and this is something joyous to me, and don't know what will happen in future, but still I'm studying, I'm learning with street photography all.
One thing I want to say about this genre of photography, I always say when I take class or we just instruct the students about photography and genre. So I always say that if you are good at your camera, means if you know perfectly your instrument, not only camera, let it be camera, let it be lens or whatever instrument you are using for photography, and if you know light properly, how the light is and what is the use of light, and the third thing is if you have good visual, then any genre you can excel in any genre. Just know the thing and go and do it. I know I can assure you that you can take much better photography than the other people. Most of the people are doing in that particular genre, because you just have to have knowledge of these particular three things. If you have it, then you are done. I don't think you need to be reluctant in any genre. Like I have started with landscape photography. After that, I have done this wildlife photography, bird photography. After that, I have done people photography, travel photography, event photography. So at the end, now I find that this travel photography and people photography attracts me more. So that is a very personal choice, not because you are not good at other things. It is because you are liking these things, working with people and all. So I am doing this photography more. So that's the thing. Everybody has his personal liking. Like Arun said, whatever challenging he finds, he just go for it and get into it. So that's the thing. Okay. One quick question. One-liner inspiration. Who is your inspiration in photography? Studying with
For me,
Arun.
is Salgado. I can close my eyes and say, not on the row as a wildlife photographer, but overall is Salgado. I've got a few books from him. The biggest
Sebastian
inspiration for
Salgado.
me is his street photography.
Sebastian Salgado.
Yes.
He's famous for his black and white. His black and white photo is awesome, just
Yeah.
mind blowing.
It stops you the second you see a picture.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not just an image. It just
In every picture stops you and just spend some at least 3 to 4 minutes for a particular picture.
yeah.
So you,
Ansel Adams, without any.
all-time favorite. Nipanjan?
And for me, it is Raghurai and Raghuveer Singh. I love to see them to most. The Raghurai and the documentation of Raghurai and Raghuveer Singh on, especially on Kolkata, it is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Padma Shri Raghurai and his documentation on Kolkata, I am very much affected towards his work.
After a
Right.
long period, I have heard someone taking the name of Raghuveer Singh. Very beautiful photographer and very less people know about him. It's so awesome, beautiful photographer.
Yeah.
Okay, so another quick question. If you want to give credit for your photography journey to someone, who? Arun.
I'll let Soumya answer first. And then I'll pass it on. I'll see what Sam's like.
Uh, no, there are a lot of contributors. Very difficult to specify any individuals, but surely I should say both my family and professions. Very rare cases where you get support from your professions. Family, yeah, I know at times there are challenges people face when they go for any kind of photography, timing, family time and all this. For me, that never happened any kind of obstacles, so I should give them credit. But professionally, to also get support for my photography, also something added advantage for me, so I always take that credit to them.
Nipanjan? Acha,
He has
Arun.
been
No,
very
let-
politically correct.
Yeah.
Arun is gathering information and he will
Yeah.
say, I second all of them.
Absolutely.
He's getting motivation.
Yeah. So Dipanjan can answer, then I'll.
Yeah.
To me, the inspiration I can see that that Yashica camera of my father. My father
my
was
God.
not at all. My father was not at all a photographer, but he used to take pictures of me because of my childhood, the various moments of my childhood, the various moments of our family. He used to take all that pictures, and I was too much affected that system that the father asked us to stand in a manner, and he used to up the flash, the Yashica or the vintage old camera, which has to up the flash with the hand with a brilliant stroke, and that the flash will go on to up, and then he took our pictures. This system, and I affected most by this system, that what is going on, what is this toy that is called Yashica, and I affected most by that system, and from that time the camera was my toy, and 2017 I took it with serious manner.
Okay.
Nice, very nice.
Arun, you.
I have to say, internet is my biggest inspiration. I don't know how else to say. It's just because it's a window that opens in what way you want to see it, isn't it? So if I'm, at work, and if I'm not, if I'm doing some management work and things, I go on my internet and see inspiring photography or something. That's when I start to see Salgado and his work. It's purely by accident. Then I start to buy some books about him. Then I read his and if I want to do some sports photography, then if I want to know what lens, I just go on YouTube or internet. So there's everything to some extent that to give you some inspiration from it is from internet. I don't watch much of telly. It's been 3 months since I watched telly, to be very honest, because I just think other things, for me, it's interesting things I can do, like photography. But inspiration-wise, yeah, I would say personally, the window of the internet, just getting the inspirations of any genre. And then you just, oh, hang on a minute, I want to try this, or this is inspirational, or this photographer is interesting. So personally, for me, I would say the opportunity to go through them through the internet is my inspiration.
Great. So I want to know from each of you 3 things you consider to be a successful photographer. For the photography career, 3 things one should implement to be a successful photographer. Okay, Arun? Yeah.
Patience, persistence, and not to be put off by failure, I would say. Especially if you're a wildlife photographer, patience is probably, I know it's almost 60 to 80% luck, but also for that luck, you need to repeat the chances of increasing chances of being lucky. So you need to be in the same place a few times to have your luck. And if it fails, I think to learn from your failures. And then the most important would be not to repeat your failure. What made you to fail is to learn from your mistakes from before. Like me running out of my card and things like that. I don't do it anymore. So it's to and go with your heart, not for the awards. Personally, I would say. I know I still enter. I'm not saying it's not, but now, as I say, it's not my reason why I do photography.
Shoma?
Yeah, I'll stick to my same. Like as I said, failure and success is very difficult to how you take it. But if you really ask me, for the professional photographers who really earn money, I should say professional in the sense for their bread and butter photography. So very difficult for us to comment on those, because we are not exactly on full-fledged on those area. But for amateur like us or enthusiasts like us, where we really enjoy our photography, a kind of art form or creativity, whatever we call it as, I think my only very simple word is, if you don't try to be stereotype, I think you will love it and enjoy it. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Dipanjan?
To me, passion is the most important thing to do, because we all are passionate photographers, and we have to keep that patience on the photography genre. And the second is, never give up. You always try to make a good frame. Never you less your hope, because a frame, even in the street photography, there are lots of failures in all genre, as well as the lots of failures. But I believe in one sentence, that the failures are the pillars of success. That is the most important thing to make us a brilliant future. And that's all to me, that to make a successful photographer.
I want to ask one thing to Arun. Arun, you have done a good bit of street photography also through your heart, and you have done a bit of this wildlife photography also. So here one word is there, that is vision. Means visualize. Somebody has to do some visualization. So how important it is there, visualization? Because we all of us know that without visualization, street photography is nothing. Street photography is 90% visualization, and rest 10% is patience, and I shoot it in the don't miss the moment. So how would you differentiate this visualization in the field of wildlife photography and street photography?
One thing I'm very strong in this one is I will have an answer which is not political, or it might be, is follow your heart. In the sense, I don't follow rules to some extent, because I don't read the rules, or I know it might contradict a lot of the opinions. I don't see the rule of 3. Sometimes I don't even know when I started, and I don't want to know them, because to some extent I want to do what my heart believes is a good composition. A lot of times I fail, but when I do get a composition, then it's unique for me. Even in sports or wildlife, I've done things completely crazy. I've been upside down in sitting looking at birds and things, and people used to joke when I go as a group. But the thing is, then I know that it's unique. So if I fail, which could be a lot of time, because I'm not following the rules. But if I do succeed, it's purely because of to some extent the different approach that I've done, and also which means that it's unique image, which means that you're not part of the crowd. You stand, and being a different or a successful photographer is standing away or apart from the crowd, isn't it? So if you have to contradict every professional photographer or anybody, I have to say, don't stick to the rules. But it might be controversial, but it's just my motto, that's all.
So you are emphasizing on the vision also, means your vision is to be different. Do the thing differently.
Yes, yeah, whatever your heart feels.
Yeah, whatever you're doing, you are doing it differently with your own mind.
And like you said, if I'm doing some photography, then I used to see that place or like that wildlife, then I used to make sure that I'm not shooting that angle, I'm not shooting that shots, and I'm not taking, even in wildlife, I try to do a different ones. Even it means that it's not a very good shot, then I know that it's a different unique.
Yeah, those things we have come to know, seeing your photographs when you have done this landscape and things like 50-50 this separation. So they are obviously, generally the rule says that you have to do 1:2 or 2:3 like that. But you are doing it 50-50 means it shows that you are doing the thing differently, not as per the rule you are going. So you are breaking the rule after knowing the rule or without knowing the rule?
Without knowing the rule. To be very honest, yes. I don't know there is a rule to break, so which gives you a bit more of a freedom.
Yeah, there's a quick question from one of our.
The question is from Saurav Das. I think everyone has read the question, so anyone can pick up an answer.
How to work with it. Salgado never worked. Most of the time, he worked on his own. I think if you see the documentary about Salgado, the main thing was he liked to work on his own because one reason is he didn't want others to copy, or he didn't want to be influenced by others, and he didn't want to be an influence to others because he wanted to create his own unique images, like in the mining fields in Africa and whatnot. So if you see most of his work life, he didn't even take his son with him, even when he was grown enough.
Wow.
So that's an interesting.
Very interesting. Unknown fact.
Yeah, but how to work with professional photographers, Arun might be the best person to explain because you are a professional photographer, so you might be able to say a bit better.
Yeah, I am getting my bread and butter and cup of tea on the single plate. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, thing is that you have to forget you have to forget about Salgado and the other celeb photographers who are doing of their own only, even they are not taking their kids also. So you have to think about some Indian photographers or some photographers who are very good in social media, very good in publicity of themselves, like Steve McCurry and all. We know those names every now and then. They're coming up. They're roaming around India and all. You can try get hold of them. You can definitely be a part of their team. That's nice way to go forward. Okay. So,
And there is carry on, Arun.
Yes, I'm over with it. I'll go to the next question, maybe the last question. If it comes.
No, it's okay.
Okay. So there's a one question. Not the question, it's the advice. What advice you should leave for the posterity, for the younger generation, new photographers? What would be your suggestion? How to approach to be a good photographer, or whatever? How should they look at their future? Arun, start with Arun.
Just one sentence. I think be creative. That's all I would say.
Chauman.
Have fun and enjoy what you do.
And I think I have to gather all the advices rather than giving advices because
No, I think at times.
But Dipanjan, I love one thing about yourself. You're very.
Screen's frozen, I think.
Yeah, she's frozen. Okay, and what I suppose generally, every time I say people, if somebody asks me that any advice, the one sentence I tell them: before going to become a good photographer, successful photographer, you have to become a good human being. If you are a good human being, you can excel in photography. you can become a very good successful photographer. But if you are not a good human being, so getting success in photography may get the material success in photography, but that success you'll never get for which people will look up in you. So that is very much like many places we go, we find there's a vantage point to shoot Taj Mahal from a place where hardly 2 or 3% can stand, and we find that there are 10 people are there. Now the people who are standing behind, they just jump over somebody's shoulder, put his camera and take the photograph. That is very awkward thing. That is not a human being thing. That is, you have to be a very good human being. Let the photographs, let whoever get a chance, let him take photographs, and after that, with a good kind gesture, you do your part. If at all you are not getting that particular chance, forget it. It is not for you. Think it in that way. But it's not like that you will ruin someone else's shot and you will go and get the shot and have a mentality like that, by hook or by crook, I have to get the shot. That's a very awkward thing. I've seen many people who just jump over my shoulder. I'm taking a shot. I'm having a frame in front of me. Somebody is putting a camera over my shoulder and taking the same frame, that whatever frame Arun has got, I'll also have to.
So that's why come to desert, nobody will be anybody's shoulder. No one is there.
No, I am telling you, Samya, I am telling you, at the very beginning of my this photography career, I had attended one desert workshop. Not in your desert, it is in our
So
desert.
these actually happens in workshops and
It happens in workshops. Yeah, Jaisalmer.
Jaisalmer, okay.
Jaisalmer,
Okay.
and there were 35 to 40 people there, and they were fighting. They were fighting for a shot where from the mentor was taking.
Arun, here also, currently, even in here also, like, all these local tribals where they have those desert, I'm talking about in Oman also, photography business now everywhere, correct? The people are doing a lot of group photography. Exactly the same scenario. Okay, the locations I'm talking about, because those are all restricted oil field zones. So that's why nobody can, go there. Otherwise, very difficult.
Exactly. Right. So just want to say that be a a good human being. Let people take their own photograph, and there is no need to jump over it, and there shouldn't be any mentality that I have to get it. That is very awkward.
And
and
people
there is
also
no,
at
I
times.
guess, as a creator, you will not get the satisfaction of clicking what Arun framed.
Exactly. You should have your
There
own
is no
frame. You should create
satisfaction,
your
right?
own thing. That creativity has to be there.
Because that is not my vision. That is what he saw. That is not what I saw.
I think I
What is
have
the
to
point?
log off. I'm very sorry. I have
Okay, we
to.
are done with. We are done. We are done with.
No, we
Do
are
you have
actually done with it. We are running
Shamu, do
very
you have
late.
1 minute? Just a minute, Sanita. You have 1 minute?
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
There's a
I
quick
have 5
question.
minutes to tell you.
Okay,
I just
what do
want
you
to
see? What do you see yourself from here after 5 years? That's a question started with Samya.
I think as I started with my creativity and intention to do more creative, to be more structured, to do much better work as I can excel much better whatever I'm doing today. And today I feel if I'm doing 5% of my what I desire to, and so I want to learn more. I want to continue to do that. It's not that I just want to do it one time and to leave away. uh, exactly difficult to tell after 5 years what we will do, but to continue my creativity and passion for this will definitely carry on, what I can tell.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Samya. It's a great vision for you. Yeah, thanks for being a part. You can log
Yeah.
out. Absolutely no issue. Same question to Arun.
I just want to travel as much as possible. My passion is traveling more than anything else. And I have a bucket list of places I want to be traveling. I was meant to go to Antarctica in December before the pandemic started, which was cancelled. So my list of things is to travel. And if photography comes as a part of it, I'm quite happy because they're both close to my heart. But 5 years down the line, I want to be able to travel to the places which I think many of us might not be able to. The future generation might not get a chance to see them. because like Brazil, it's already a lot more destroyed than when I was there. So I want to see them before they, in a way, disappear in front of our eyes. That's my only wish 5 years down the line.
Dipanjan?
I want to gather more knowledge, and I want to present some good sample of works. That is my only thinking right now. That I want to gather more knowledge and want to learn more
Any
things.
particular achievement in front of you, in your view? Just
I think I am doing frames. I am doing photography not for any achievements or not for any awards. I am
great.
doing it for my fun, my pleasure, and
That's good.
that is the main thing. I am doing photography, not is for achievement or awards.
Yeah, over to Sanita.
I want to add one thing.
Yeah, you carry on doing.
I want to add something at the end for Dipanjan, that you are a beautiful person and a very humble human
Thank
being,
you.
because you are the youngest in the group. But the way I am very impressed, and the way you have talked, and you are so keen to learn. That is very nice, and I appreciate
Thank
it
you
a
so
lot.
much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I think we have reached the end of our webinar, and
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
very nice talking to all of you. Thank you so much for giving your time. And as we discussed, please be active on our ABHA group and try to help our members, and
Motivate our members.
add your friends, invite your friends, and help us grow.
One thing, just,
So
just before wrapping up, just I want to say there will be lot of contest will be there, and please be a part of the contest also, because all these photographs, they will be happy to see you guys photographs over there. So be not only be there not only as a mentor, be there as a participant, as a common member also, because people want to see
Yeah.
you as a part of them, as a co-photographer like themselves. So
Yeah.
please
yeah,
be
and contest actually, through contest, it's not only about the winning. We get to see so many photographs, and that is so
photographs. Yeah.
motivating.
And
So
that is the
before I
So
log off, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Just
right.
wants to give a thanks to Sanita and Arun for organizing it, and also to Arun and Dipanjan to be interact with you all. And thank you very much. Have a nice
Thank you
day,
so
be
much.
safe, and I'm sure this difficult time will cross over and all will connect again.
Surely.
Thank you very much. I have to log
Thank
off.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, surely. Thanks,
no,
Amma, for being a
we
part
all
of
are.
this webinar.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks.
Soumya.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah, Dipanjan has also logged off. So I think we are done for
Okay,
today.
thanks both of you. I'll.
Okay, Arun, thank you. Thank you for giving
Thanks,
your
Arun.
time.
No, it's all right. Thank you. It was quite interesting conversation.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot, Arun.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
thanking
we'll be
you.
meeting
Bye,
again.
everyone.
Yes, Anil.
Surely.
Bye.
Thank you.
We want to say bye to all ABHA members.
Yeah.